Hey everyone, I'm Nick.
I'm Vic.
And we're Envy Board Gaming. Today we're doing another top 10. This one is going to be unsung or overlooked games. So our top 10 overlooked games. We're joined by a couple people that are actually going to be on our channel uploading content as well. Andrew and Sam. Met them through, well actually they live pretty close to us and they were on contributors at Dice Tower doing Favorite Game Friday. So we hooked up with them and they're going to be doing some content as well. So I figured why not start off with a top 10 list. So how'd you guys form your list for this?
So for me, for us, what we did was we kind of just looked at all of our games that we had and went through the ones that that we knew weren't like talked about very often in the normal channels, and that came up very frequently when people have made their top 10 lists. And then I kind of cross-referenced that with BGG as seeing like what the ratings was. So
Absolutely.
we did not pick anything higher than like I think the highest rated game we have is like 790 something.
Mm-hmm.
Is the highest rated. Because then I figured it's low enough. It's kind of like flying under the radar.
Gotcha. What do you got for number 10?
For number 10, we have Micropolis.
Mhm.
That is a really fun game. I love it because you're building like anthills, and you get to, no matter what, it all builds on each other. So it's like kind of no matter how you place it, it's gonna work somehow. But you're like collecting fruit and the different ants, and they all have different like abilities and stuff.
Nice. And I knew they were fans of Bruno Catala because we talked about it. And this was the first guess probably. I go, okay, probably Micropolis is probably on that list.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
so this would probably be the only one I'm going to guess from the list. And I'm going to say we probably don't have any crossovers. Because we talked about that too. Probably not going to happen just because the nature of an overlooked game. Probably not going to have very many crossovers if I talk to anybody really. So chances are no.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, our number 10 is the game Viceroy. Viceroy actually started in Russia. It is, the designer just came out with a game, I think Queen something, Winter Queen, I think. And that just got kickstarted. So I didn't back that one, but I do like Viceroy a lot. It's an auction game. We have different jewels you're bidding, and you're putting your cards out in a tableau, kind of building out a little pyramid to trigger out different things. Really fun game. Nobody really talks about it. I think I've seen it mentioned on Dice Tower because Z likes the game quite a bit. But again, other than that, I've never heard anyone talk about this game. And yeah, that's my number 10.
So how did you come up with our 10? The way
Good
that
call.
you are kind of what the criteria is.
Yeah. So the way we did it is we had about 15, and I should have prefaced this. We had about 15 we limited it to, and then we picked from those 15, Vic and I had a separate list, and we ranked them. So the higher the score was, the less chance there's going to be on the list. The lower the score, the higher up on our list. So we just did it that way. So for instance, Viceroy ranked 1,039 on BGG. I ranked it as my number 8. Vic ranked it as her number 11, giving it a score of 19, so that came in as our number 10.
Mm-hmm. And I guess number 9.
Yep, number 9.
Our number 9 was Crypt. I love it because it's like a cute little card game. You're collecting treasure, but you're using dice as kind of your servants. And then, yeah, just like collecting different treasure. I feel like it's just super easy to set up, really fun, like a fast game.
Yeah. What's really great is that I feel like it's from the makers of Canvas, which is super hot right now,
Yes.
especially with them just concluding that expansion. And when this one came out, it was only $9, but it was like really cool little set collection game of trying to get these treasures in your father's crypt, and you're trying to sneak in there and steal them. So it's a nice, quick little game.
That's
really
the
fun.
small box with a knight on the front?
Yeah.
I remember it. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Right. All right, Vic, number 9.
Our number 9 is Crown of Imara. This game is ranked 759 on Board Game Geek, and Nick ranked it 12, and I put it at number 4. So I am quite fond of it. I love the dueling tracks that you're going to score on your lowest track, so you need to keep up the maintenance on those two. And I just thought the game was really great. Nick had mentioned it in our games that we are looking forward to playing, and he promptly got that game, and we tried it and instantly played it multiple times. Just had a great time with it.
The thing is, it's not terribly overlooked, but it felt like when it came out, it was really overshadowed by all the games that were coming out. Nobody was really speaking about Crown of Imara, despite how great it was. It kind of slipped through the cracks for a lot of people, so that's why it made the list.
And number 8.
So number 8 for us is Maduris. So this is a part of the Haba family games that I feel like as general, it kind of gets overlooked because Hava's looked at as like a kids game
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of really good family games. And in this one, you have these workers that you're stacking on top of each other, and based on where that worker is, determines how many of that resource you have. And you're building these little huts and temples, and there's a druid that goes around, and you have to make like what is it, like a sacrifice or a donation or something like that to him to get points. So it's really interesting, just little mechanics that they play, and it looks really nice. The art is beautiful on it, so it's definitely one that we think gets overlooked quite a bit.
Right on.
Yeah.
Number 8 for us is Crystal Palace. This game is ranked 760 on Board Game Geek. Nick ranked it 11 and I ranked it 5. And what I really love about this game, we don't seem to hear about it a lot on social media channels, don't really see people talk about it very much, but we really found it quite easy to learn. It wasn't too complicated. It has so many great places to place your workers, that you're dealing with inventors and matching up the thing that the person invented with the actual inventor themselves. So that's kind of fun to try to get those sets and those matching cards. And we just have so much fun with the dice placement mechanic. We enjoy that in our games. So we find that Crystal Palace is a little bit of an overlooked game.
Yeah, I don't even know how I heard about it, to be honest, because nobody talks about it. I had once I had it, then I had to look up like Heavy Cardboard did a playthrough. But I really don't hear anybody talking about this game, and it seems like a game people should be talking about. So there it is, number 7 for you guys.
Number 7. So number 7 for us is Snow Tales, which just happened to us coming across it because she really likes dogs. So she's like, "Oh, I want to get a dog game. I want to get a dog game."
Yeah, there's not many of them.
Right, and
No.
so I know this one had been reprinted a couple times, but we had gotten it, and lately I've just been really into racing games, and I just love this idea. It's a little mathy because you have to add the 2 dogs and then minus the brake, but you're literally like drifting around these turns, trying to avoid trees and running into the walls, and they have these little speed barriers as you're going, and it's literally just a dog sled race to the end. Which I think is it's so fun because I love the modular board that you can have, and you have like a chasm you can jump over.
Yeah.
You get the promo. It's super.
And you can make it like however you want. So, I mean, he's made it where the track is pretty difficult, where you're like dodging trees and like
that's
jumping
cool.
over glaciers and stuff. So it feels like you're actually racing, which is cool.
That's cool.
That's
And I was like, it's like a hidden gem because I wanted a dog board game, and so we got it.
Dog lovers, listen up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
You
I
guys
got
are.
it for her, but I think I ended up liking it more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. You guys are on a racing kick. I remember you talked about Cantaloupe today with me. You talked about Cubitos recently.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
one of my number 1 games of like all time is Quest for El Dorado, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
essentially a racing game.
That's your favorite of all time.
It
Your favorite
is.
racing game,
It's-
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we like the racing games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Number 7. Number 7 is our only party game that's going to make this list. It's the game Crosstalk. Crosstalk is ranked 2,518. I ranked it 3rd on my list. Vic ranked it 10th. I just felt like it had a place. One party game, that's going to be the one. It's probably my favorite party game there is, and it doesn't get any love because Just One came out at the same time. I mean, it wasn't getting any love from Just One. Obviously, the rightful spot. It was a simple concept. Everyone could follow along with that type of rule set. It's co-op. Crosstalk is a clue-giving game that it's 2 teams. You're giving your best clue to your team, but after that, all your clues are to the other team, and all that leader's clues are to your team. And you're trying to find that nice balance of getting your team to figure it out before the opposite team. And it just works really well. There's a bunch of variants to try out, so a lot of replayability, a ton. So that is an easy pick for me, and that's our number 7.
So number 6.
Our number 6 is Ishtar. This game is, I think, really pretty. I love it because it's like you're planting flowers and you're creating your own, essentially your own garden. And so you get to collect gems, like, as you're creating this garden and then scoring for different stuff. So I think it's a really pretty game.
Right, you get to plant the different trees, and you can use the gems to buy like little upgrades for your little player board. It's another Bruno Cathala game, so
Yeah.
not the first, obviously, and it is not the last.
Yeah,
so,
spoiler.
but yeah, it's just I feel like kind of like what you're talking about with Crown of Amara is that it came out when so many other games came out and just kind of got overlooked.
Yeah.
But it's such a beautiful game, and I just love the watering can of you trying to choose the right tile and control the different fountains. It's really
Yeah.
What do you have notes on when that one what was ranked or no?
Oh,
I'm
that
just curious.
one was ranked 1,365.
Then that belongs on this list for sure. I thought it actually ranked higher. I thought.
Right, I thought
Yeah.
it was too. I was shocked when I saw it.
Yeah, I agree with you then, for sure. Number 6, and this is gonna be a spree of Nick right here. Usually we have back and forth, Vic and I, but it just happened that I like these run-up games more than Vic apparently. So number 6 for us is gonna be one that appeared on a list that we did with Better Half reviews. It was the
Unexpected?
some unexpected or what was the name of it? Didn't we call it something else? Unexpected. Well, I'll come back to it. This one was actually our number 1 for that list, and it was London Dread. London Dread, a cooperative game. I love that game. I think it's so good, and it is ranked 2,933 on Board Game Geek. Yes, there's thousands and thousands of games on there, but come on. There's 2,933 better games than London Dread? I don't think so. So this one came at number 5 for me, number 6 for Vic. It landed on our number 6 total. And London Dread, great cooperative game.
Nice. Number 5 for us is another Haba family game because I just feel like it's so unjustified that how low they get rated.
Might be
This-
because we have a 4-year-old too. We're
Pause.
really into the hobby games.
Exceeded expectations.
Oh, is that the name
That's
of
the
it?
name of it.
Okay.
It's just, I had to wait. I was killing me. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I said yeah.
So our number 5 is ranked 3,333, and that is Ikazu, or essentially a lot of people think of it as like Avatar, the board game. kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it looks
And
like
I
it.
really like this game because it looks beautiful. Again, we're a sucker for games that look really good.
Yeah.
But it has that 3D like waterfall that slides, and you're you're playing your gems out in this waterfall to fill these holes, and you're trying to gain majority, and you have to get majority in rows and in columns. You get points and get these little special abilities, and it just looks really good. The components are really nice. The art is beautiful, and so yeah, our number 5 is Ikazu. I like the Haba family games.
Nice. I don't know that one. That's the first one on your list. I'm not familiar with it. So
Oh, really?
There you go. Belongs on the list. I don't even know
Good.
about it. So
Yeah.
number 5 for us is a game that I thought would get a little buzz after Shut Up and Sit Down covered it, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. Maybe it happened a little uptick, but not much. It came in at 2,874. This game is called Karen. If you like Onitama, yeah, you should check out Karen for sure. It's an abstract game similar to chess concepts, and man, it's a thinky game, super fun, different ways to win, different ways to score. The thing flips over when you do an action. You can think of it like Onitama, just not cards or tiles, and they're flipping over. You're giving your opponent different things. Similar concept, like a cross between the two.
And there's special abilities. I like the transmogrification. I think it's the word.
Yes,
It's a
those
lot of
tiles come out
fun.
there. Yeah.
Changes it up. It's really
There it goes.
interesting.
Number 5.
All right.
Yeah, you guys number 4.
All right. Our number 4 is Noctiluca. I think it is so cool that there's a game with magical jellyfish.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of it, I was like, I love it. And it's like, placed out on, it's got a board and there's dice out and you have to choose, each number of the dice, like, and you're collecting colors, but you're actually doing that so you can collect these magical jellyfish. You have to have certain dice to collect them. So I just think it's an awesome game. And once again, it's pretty. So.
Right, and it's by Shem Phillips.
There you go.
Is, through Z-Man games, I always remember seeing like the commercials with the dice falling in the fish tank. But then, yeah, it just never really got a lot of buzz. But it's a really good game.
Yeah,
You
it's
guys-
fun.
You
I
guys
like
love Shem Phillips. So.
I'm a Shem fan for sure.
Absolutely.
Fanboy.
Yes, exactly.
Our number 4 was actually my number 1 pick. So if it was my list, this would be number 1. It's not just my list. It's Vic's list too, and she ranked number 8. Don't know how that happened. It must have been a glitch in the
So,
system.
yeah, something went wrong.
So this is the last one you're going to for me because the next few are Vic. So this one is Skull Hollow. Skull Hollow is an amazing 2-player game. Man,
Yeah.
it is really, really good. It's ranked 1,577. I was surprised when I saw that. So that would like when I saw that, I'm like, that's on the list because that's definitely should crack top 1,000. Well balanced game, super fun, a lot of replayability, different monsters, great components. What more can you say? Pencil First does a great job with Skull Hollow.
Did you see that they're coming out with the sequel for it?
No, but thank you for that.
Mall Peak.
I'm getting it right now.
Right.
Whatever it is.
It's so great because you can mix and match it. Oh, it looks good. I've seen it. It looks really good.
Skull Hollow's amazing.
Definitely on my list of something to get.
Yeah, I feel like I got you that for Christmas or something.
I think you probably did.
Yeah, it is a fun 2-player game.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus video game back in the day.
I don't know that one, but that's
Really?
cool.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. So number 3. So for number 3, it's actually a relatively new game, but not very well known in the States, and that is a game that I decided to pretty much champion for no apparent reason whatsoever, just because I loved it, and that is The Great Race. So this was a Kickstarter from last year. It actually had just fulfilled within the last couple months, and it's from Platypus Games, which is primarily it's a French company. So it's a pretty well-known game in France, but it hasn't really gotten any traction here. It's another racing game, but literally it takes place in like 1935, and you are different countries in a team of like a half track. So you have this car, and you are traveling across an entire continent, you know, battling the elements. They have a bunch of different modules, and they have like little modules where you can add like pickup and delivery. You're going to different countries and capitals, and there could be politics that gets involved if you want to add it, and weather. And so the production is really, really nice, and I highly, highly recommend someone go check it out. They have another Kickstarter that's coming out in a couple months. They had it, and then they canceled it because they're coming out with the second one. Because in the first game you could do South America and Africa, so now they're going to have Asia and North America. But it's a really, really good game. Something I think has been easily overlooked. I think, you know, if just given more of a chance here in the States, it could be a lot more popular.
Is there interaction? Like, do players interact with each other? Do they mess each other up in the race or anything like
Kind
that?
of.
You can,
Yeah.
because you're placing out these tiles that dictate, because your half track is going to take damage, so you can place tiles out and kind of mess with people's with their route that they're trying to take, because it's got a ton of different mechanisms. You have hand management. You're gonna have this little shield to place your workers on what actions you want to take. You can play cards to mess with your opponent, so it can be a little take thatty. But I mean, people that don't like that, you can easily take those cards out and play. But there's a lot going on, but it's relatively simple. I mean, literally, you start at one part of the continent, and you're racing to the other side, and that's it.
And it does feel like you're racing like terrain. Like, I mean, because you will take damage and you have to use gas to get like to each tile. So it actually feels like you're having to work hard.
That sounds legitimately awesome, and yeah, maybe we should check that out.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys check that out. The Great Race would be one to write down if you're watching this video.
So our number 3, speaking of races, this game, not completely a racing game. There is a racetrack, a Grand Prix component. It is not a pretty game, so I do apologize. It is boring looking. Like, you look at this game and it would be a turn off, but once you get into it, you're surprised by what it is. And this game is Craftwagon. The V6 edition is the one that Nick and I recently reviewed on our channel. We got that. It was on our also anticipated games list. I first heard about it in passing. I think it was a segment on the Dice Tower. Somebody mentioned this game about getting parts for cars, upgrading bodies for the car, and upgrading engines, finding sellers for the car, and that there was also this race part to it. And I thought, wow, that's so awesome, because I like racing games. They're fine. I like cars, but I wanted a game where I could upgrade cars or have an ability to kind of work on cars and have a buying system where you're trying to auction or outbid people. And there's just a lot of cleverness built into the game, but nobody really ever talks about it. It's ranked 1004 on Board Game Geek. I ranked it number 2 on my list, and Nick put number 6. We just had a really great time playing it, and more people should check it out.
Yeah, it is pretty ugly. When I put it out, I bought it too for her because she wanted it, but I wasn't enthused. I looked at it and like, man, this is going to be trash. Let's just get it over with. And I thoroughly enjoyed the game. So Craftwagon was a lot of fun.
That sounds like something I would enjoy.
Yeah.
Vic likes F1 racing too, so that does help a little bit as well with the theme, building out your car.
Yeah, because it is a European car thing, and what we also liked, and we mentioned in our review, is that the cars are all different. So you know how sometimes you have values of cars, and like in a card set, they'll all be the same.
Yeah, the Mercedes. No, these are all
different cars. So
cool.
of that period, so it is a historical. You see somebody come up and you go, oh, that's the Mercedes-Benz creator, or that's someone. And you start to think about cars and how like what they started off as.
Yeah, there's so many elements to that game too. There's customers buying the cars, you're upgrading your body, you're building a better engine, which helps you run faster on the race. It's really good.
Yeah.
That's cool. I have to check that one out. All right, number 2.
Oh, Imaginarium.
Nice.
There's so many things I just love about this game. When he told me, like, hey, I got us a board game that's about, like, making dreams and stuff, and I was like, that sounds so cool. So literally, you're using resources, and you're, like, in a dream factory building dreams. It's a very trippy looking game. But it's, like, the artwork is really cool, and, like, just the whole idea of you're just building up these dreams and stuff. It's like it's like a giant factory.
Right. It looks like eclectic too.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only reason, actually they just announced a 2-player version of this game that's coming out soon, so maybe that'll help it get a little bit more traction. But I don't know if the artwork was off-putting because it's that kind of steampunk kind of look to it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But it's really fun. I just like it can be a little take thatty as well. But I like that engine building where you're using that charcoalium and you're getting those different resources. It's really fun.
Nice. Yeah. Bruno, that's 3 on the list, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we were just saying that. We're like, we have a lot of his games
Bruno.
on our list.
You can't tell he's like my favorite designer.
Tim and Shem, neck and neck.
Right.
Yeah, easily.
Nice.
Our number 2 is a game that Nick brought out, and I had the same feeling that he had with Craftwagon. When I saw it, a space game, some meeples on the, and I thought, what is this? It didn't look that cool to me. It didn't look that appealing. The game is Ganymede. Many people don't really know about this game. It kind of flew under the radar. It's ranked 1,787 on Board Game Geek. Nick ranked it 7, and I ranked it number 1. It was just such a surprise to me. I never heard of it, never heard anyone speak of it. And when Nick brought it out to me and he first went through the rules of it, I thought, oh, okay, we're just moving meeples from a planet to a ship and launching it. But we had such a great time, and there's so much forward thinking that you have to do with the meeples and the ones that you put on the planet, which planet you put them on, what cards are showing, what's your opponent doing. So I just love that you're kind of looking at each other and, what are you going to do? And he got an expansion right away as soon as we finished playing Ganymede a few times. He went and got an expansion for it so that we could, the moon one, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it is called Moon.
Yeah, the moon. And it just added even more to the game. And so we just thought it was great. The price was right for us at the time. I don't know what it is now, but we got it for a great deal. And it just made me happy all around. Yeah.
And since you mentioned this is a French publisher, 99% sure, because the publisher's name is Sorry We're French.
Yeah, sorry.
That is the publisher's name. So they had French rules, English rules, and I'm pretty sure they must be French. 99.9% sure, given that title.
Yeah.
And super funny.
If not, that'd be a super awkward name.
Yeah, just kidding.
Right.
They just don't like French people.
Right. All right. So
Number 1.
Number 1. So this was easy. When we first were talking about this list,
Sure.
we knew this was going to be our number 1.
We just looked at each other and we're like,
right.
we
As
know
soon as
this.
given the option, we were like, it's easily going to be Explorers of the North Sea.
Nice.
Because, and I don't know, something about me when people talk bad about this game, I'm like,
Personally,
you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. It's so frustrating. It's such a good game. This game replaces Carcassonne for me. And so, I mean, it's tile placement, but then you have like 4 actions. You're sailing these Viking ships out to conquer these islands, and you want to have, the majority of your Vikings to have this influence so that at the end of the game you can score them, or you can run around and you can collect livestock and you get points for sets of livestock.
That's usually what I do.
Right. Or you can go and you can fight fortresses or settlements and you get points for that. Even if your Vikings die to enemy ships that you come in contact with, you get points for that. And you have special player abilities. And at the end, the board just beautiful because every time it's tile placement, so every time it looks different.
Yeah.
It's such a good game, and you can go out and you can salvage shipwrecks. And I don't get why people don't like it, but I think it's It's like ranked, 983? Yeah, 983.
Really?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, we have played it with other people, and they're like, "This is really fun."
Right.
It's just a fun game. And we even talked. Well, actually, that was one of my favorite Friday games.
Oh,
was
yeah, it was.
Wars.
Nice.
So yeah.
We'll always love that game.
Yeah.
That's number one. I should have known because I know you've hyped that one up.
Right, yeah.
Have we played that
yeah.
one?
We haven't.
I didn't think so. I was trying to think, but then it was
Or
Empires.
Shipwright.
When you started describing the game, I'm like, it's not Empires.
Shipwrights, you can leave that.
Yeah, that one. Those are the two we haven't.
Yeah.
Right. That's an unsung game.
It deserves its spot.
Right.
So, our number one game that is overlooked was Heroes Welcome. Nick ranked this number 4, and I ranked it number 3. Just love the art, love the quirkiness of this game of getting weapons from these monsters, from these heroes. And the concept is so cool because the heroes are coming to the town, they're visiting the shops, you're a shopkeeper, and you are trying to buy the weapons that they've collected from the dungeon that they were in, so you can break them down and sell them to the customers, who are the monsters that go back into the dungeon well equipped. So it's kind of a funny little recycling
That sounds
thing.
fun.
And it was like,
actually.
what a how could you think of something like that?
Yeah.
That is so clever. And the names of these items are just hilarious. Like, it'll be like Troll Booger if it's an emerald. And you think it's just really funny. You read them and you get entertained by the little tiles. And the system is really clever, where you upgrade the weapons based on your mastery of that skill set. So if you pick up, an Ethereum mastery, you're going to try to craft weapons with that type of material. So it's really, you're looking at your opponent, what they're trying to build their weapon with, what you're building your weapons with. You can continue to add masteries. So you're just continuously making these weapons the best they can be, so they can suit the preferences of the customers that are out, while also scoring you points for being for meeting certain criteria. And it was a great game. The art is really great, and the system is clever because when the heroes visit a shop, you put these really cute closed signs. They're like 3-dimensional little closed signs that go in. It's so gratifying that closed. You're not going there. It's great. Just so much fun, and so many places to go to, and you don't feel like you're ever not doing an action that is meaningful. So we had a lot of fun, and no one talks about this game to me. I haven't heard them mention it. How did you even hear about it?
It was on sale. I looked up a review. That sounds fun. I'm going to buy it. And then we got the expansion for it because we liked it that much.
Yeah.
Ranked, what'd you say, 6,500?
Oh, yes, I
Wow.
didn't even mention Board Game Geek ranked 6,522.
How is that possible?
That don't make no sense.
So another great game by
Yeah.
Pencil First. So shout out to them. They have
Pencil
Skull Hollow
First, yeah.
and Heroes Welcome on our list. That one's just a really good game, and it's shocking. And another thing that's weird is we ranked it 4 and 3, and every single list we've had at one spot, one of our number ones at least. But we just think it's so steady. It's so steady that actually got our number one. We both agree that this one should get a lot more hype. Super fun game.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely have to check that one out too.
Mhm.
Sounds like you have
Yeah.
a list of games to check out.
very
Right.
quirky, very interesting.
Yeah, I think we'd like it then.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
And just check. They're gonna be on our channel a lot more, so come check us out. Like and subscribe as usual. I'm Nick,
I'm Vic.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Andrew.
and we're MB Board Gaming. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.